Hey, I'm Chris, and I've been baking this bread here, this Schwarzbrot black bread, whole grain black bread for a couple of weeks now. I think I've done maybe 3 or 4, and oh, it is so delicious. I just cannot believe it. And I have always wanted to do this after baking all kinds of other bread, sourdough bread, and I went online and I read about it, and I didn't really like any of the recipes, so I sort of came up with my own, and I'm going to show you how it works. So I'm going to be baking tomorrow, but I already there are a few things I have to do tonight. It's about 10 o'clock. I'm going to do a few things tonight. Then tomorrow morning I'll be ready to bake. So first of all, there it is, the starter, my sourdough starter. And you'll notice I only have about 30 or 40 grams here that I keep in the refrigerator, and that way, all I'm going to do now is I'm going to fill it up with 50 grams of water, 50 grams of flour, and it'll bubble up by tomorrow morning, and then I use up that much, and then this is what stays, what's left over, goes back in the refrigerator, and that way I don't have to throw away or waste any sourdough starter, no waste. So that's a really cool little trick there. So what I do is I put it on the scale. Add 50 grams of water. And you'll notice it's all in grams because that's the way you do it. So that's about 50 grams of water. Oops, I already have it here. 50 grams of flour. This is white flour. You can also use other flour if you like, but I think this is always the best, gives the best results for me. And I mix it up. Not to be too careful about this, just so it's all incorporated, sort of. Put a lid on it so it's not too tight fitting, just like this, and then leave it out on the counter, and tomorrow morning you'll see it'll be all nice and bubbled up. The other thing I need to do right now or tonight is I'm going to take a little bowl here, reset it to 0, and I'm going to add 300 grams of whole grain whatever. So I don't even know what the heck this is. I was at my local store here and I got, I don't even know what this is. This is buckwheat whole buckwheat berries. This is just regular wheat berries. I have some flaxseed here, and I have some, what does it say, cut groats, I don't know. Anyway, there's this. So what I do is, all I do is I just mix it up, whatever. I don't know, whatever I feel like. So let's say I take whatever, 70 grams of that. Another whatever, up to 120. I mean, it really doesn't matter from what I've found. Take some of this stuff here. Up to about 217. And then my wheat berries here. And get to about 300. Add water. Because you want it to let it soak overnight. What you can also do if you're in a hurry, you can just cook this up for maybe 20 to 25 minutes just like you would cook rice, and that works just as well. But I like to let it sit overnight so it's not cooking and getting rid of whatever yummy stuff is in there. So this is going to sit overnight. The starter is going to sit overnight, and tomorrow morning we're going to mix it all up, and it's going to turn into something really super yummy. All right, so good morning, and the starter is all bubbled up. Smells great, so I'm going to start out with, zero this out, 100 grams of this. And of course the rest goes back into the refrigerator, and it'll stay there till I need it again. Next we'll add 175 grams of water. I use filtered water. Probably better, but you have to try it out if you just want to use your regular tap water. So it's about 170. Okay. You can already mix it up a little bit here. Ten grams of salt. Plus minus a couple, doesn't matter. Then we'll take the soaked grains here and strain them. don't have to be too careful about this either. It's just to get rid of all the excess water, and plop it in here. Then we're going to add 100 grams of rye. Now, exactly how you do this is something that you can experiment with. So, I mean, whether it's 100 rye, 100 white, or 100 white, 100 whole, or 200 white, doesn't matter. Well, of course it matters in the flavor and everything, the taste and everything, but it will turn out. So it's another 100 grams of white. So now I have 200 total, 100 grams of rye, 100 grams of white. Molasses, 75 grams. And then there are things, so the soaking of the grains is so that the hydration gets right. But if you want to use something like this, like flaxseed, you can just throw that in there, because as far as I can tell, these things don't need any hydration because they just sort of stay the way they are. So I'm just going to plop, you know, whatever, 30 grams in there, or a little more. 50 grams. Same thing I would say with sesame seeds. I have black sesame seeds and white sesame seeds. Doesn't matter, I'm not going to put that in now, but those you can just throw in there as well, I think. Might change the hydration a little bit. Well, anyway, now you mix it all up. Now you'll notice I'm not using the KitchenAid back there, but you do want to get it all incorporated really well. So you do want to sit here or stand here for a while and really mix it up well so everything gets all incorporated and it's smooth, there's nothing floating around. And then when you're done, you get something with a goopy consistency like this. Take a bread pan, spray it out here with some, so it doesn't stick. Pour the goop in, the dough. Flatten it out so it's all evenly distributed in here. Find some kind of lid. I just use these things here just so it doesn't, so bugs don't get into it and it doesn't dry out, and well, yes, all that and more. But yeah, now that's it. You just let it sit for 6 hours about. I mean, today's going to be a hot day. It might be 90 degrees in here in the house, or 80 unless we turn on the AC. You have to see about that. But if it's a summer, it might take 6 or 5 or 6 hours to bubble up to about double the size. In the winter, you want to put it into the oven and turn the light on so you get to around 80 degrees. So I'll be back later and we'll bake it. Okay, it's been about 6 hours now, and the dough has, well, it's almost doubled, pretty much. It smells really good. And you can just pop it in the oven like that, or let me see, what I sometimes do is I just throw some whatever on top, like some sunflower seeds here. Makes it look a little nicer and gives it a little bit of a extra flavor boost a little bit. So just plop those on top here. And off in the oven it goes. And the oven is at about 350 degrees, so Fahrenheit. And so I'll let it bake for about an hour and 10 minutes, and then I'll take a look. Okay, that was an hour and 10 minutes at 350 degrees. Oops, and here it is. Ooh, that looks pretty good. All right, it'll hopefully come out of here pretty easily. Gotta be a little careful so it doesn't break. It has to sit here for about another hour or so and cool off, but I wanted to show you the temperature, the inside temperature. It says beef. No, this is not beef. This is not beef. All right, so it's about 200 degrees, And well, 205 maybe. And I noticed that first time I did this, I did it an hour and it was at about 200. And I thought, oh, okay, well, it's done, but it wasn't done. So, because with regular sourdough, it's usually an indicator that when you get to 200, it'll be done. But this thing needs about 10 minutes, 15 minutes more to have it inside at 200 degrees. So, yeah, that's what I figured out. So, I'll wait another hour and then I'll cut it up and I'll show you what it looks like on the inside, and then I'll take a taste, and I know it's going to taste good, but you'll have to try it yourself and bake it yourself to see what it tastes like. Okay, here goes. Take a look at that. Does that look delicious or what? So I just had a whole bunch of pizza and strawberry shortcake, but I am going to have some of this, and I'm not even going to put any butter on it. I'm not going to put anything on it. You know you want some of this.